What's going on, everybody? My name is LuckyBunz. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Dragonspiral Descent event in Pokemon Go. Now, as always, before we go in and get started, if you guys do end up enjoying this video, please make sure to smash that like button down below. It helped me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, this event is going to take place from December 7th at 10 a.m. to December 12th at 8 p.m. your local time. Not gonna lie though, Niantic definitely released this information a bit last minute once again, considering that Australia is probably gonna have this event start pretty soon. Anyways though, let's go over the details right now. So Druddigon is actually going to be making its debut into Pokemon Go, and it's actually gonna have its shiny form available. So I guess that is kind of cool. The downside is that most of the Pokemon that are featured during this event aren't actually Dragon-type Pokemon. Despite the name of the event, I just kind of felt like that was a bit misleading. The event entirely isn't that bad. We're going to go over all the details right now, but I just felt that that was a little bit off. Okay, so first of all, let's go over the collection challenge because you can actually get a free Druddigon through this. So I'm assuming the requirements are going to be pretty simple for this. You're going to get 1,000 experience, 3,000 dust, and of course, like I just mentioned, a free Druddigon. Outside of that, you can get Druddigon from research as well as 3-star raids, so it's kind of locked behind a paywall. Some may argue just because the research might not be common. With that being said though, I'm pretty sure some of you are curious how good this Pokemon actually is in-game in both raids as well as PvP. So let's take a look at the base stats right now. So for Druddigon, it is going to have an attack stat of 213, a defense stat of 170, and an HP/stamina stat of 184. So a pretty well-rounded Pokemon. It's honestly not the best, it's not the worst either. There's definitely some play here in PvP, but I think in terms of raids, even though it has a decent moveset, it just doesn't really match up to some of the other dragons that we have in game. But I think when it comes down to PvP, we'll definitely see some play with this Pokemon, specifically in the Ultra League, but it could also be good in the Great League as well. I just think that it'll have more play given the Ultra League metas. So unfortunately, PvPoke doesn't actually have the information up right now on their site, so I can't actually take a look at the rankings for Druddigon, but we actually can take a look at the movesets. So we can see that for the fast moves, it has Dragon Tail and Bite. Both of them are actually pretty solid fast moves. And then when it comes down to the charge moves, you have Dragon Claw, Night Slash, and Hyper Beam. So Dragon Claw plus Night Slash is an excellent combo, especially because Night Slash can give you that boost potentially. So that's really solid right there. And then you also have Hyper Beam as more of a nuke move, which can definitely throw some people off. So Druddigon definitely has a great move pool when it comes down to PvP. We'll definitely have to pay attention to it when Ultra League comes back into rotation. Moving past our featured Pokemon though, let's take a look at the wild spawns that are going to be available during this event and which ones you guys should be paying attention to. So first up we have Vulpix, which is going to be a great opportunity to farm some extra large candy for Alolan Ninetales in the Ultra League, which is where it's definitely going to shine. Following that we have Seal, which is going to be a solid pick for the Great League, although it will require a double Elite TM to get the movesets desired for Dewgong, but it's definitely a really solid Pokemon in that meta. That being said, just make sure to pay attention for good PvP IVs. If you guys are curious what that actually means, check out this video in the top right corner right now. Okay, moving on though, let's see, the next Pokemon is going to be Dratini, which is going to evolve into Dragonair and then evolve into Dragonite. So Dragonair is going to be a solid pick for the Great League. Definitely make sure to pay attention for good IV spreads on that. You're also going to have Dragonite, which is going to be a solid option in the Ultra League in my opinion. I feel like you could run it in the Great League, but I would prefer to run Dragonair in that scenario. But Dragonite for the Ultra League is really solid in almost all of the metas. Additionally, on top of that, Dragonite is also a solid pick for the Master League as well as for raids/gyms. Dragonite is definitely not the best dragon type attacker in the game anymore, but it's a really solid option if you actually need some good dragon type attackers in your lineup. And given the functionality that it has in both raids as well as PvP, I would definitely recommend trying to farm as many Dratini as possible. The next Pokemon is going to be Mareep, which evolves into Ampharos. This is going to be a solid option in the Ultra League, and it doesn't actually have any exclusive Comday movesets that you would need to get, which makes it a pretty good pick right here. This Pokemon is definitely solid in the Ultra League Premier Cut meta, so I would really try to get a good spread for that. You also should go for the Hundo if possible, so you can get the Mega form in the future, or if you already have the Mega Energy, then by all means you're going to have the Hundo, which is a really solid attacker in terms of the Electric type meta. Next up we're going to have Sneasel, which is a really solid option as an Ice type attacker for raids once it evolves into Weavile. Following that we have Darumaka, which again is going to be another solid option for raids and not so much PvP when it evolves into Darmanitan. And this is going to be one of the best fire type attackers in the game, And I would also recommend trying to get as much candy as possible because its Galarian form is one of the top ice type attackers in the game. So great opportunity right there to get some candy on this bad boy. And then finally we have a few rare spawns here, Dragonair, Vibrava, and Dino. So Dragonair we just talked about a little bit earlier. Let's talk about Dino right now. So Dino is better utilized as a dark type attacker despite it actually having a decent move pool as a dragon type attacker. I would really just recommend using it as a dark type attacker, and it's not even the best, but it's a really solid option. Like if you guys already have Darkrai, you don't really need to, focus on High Dragon, but if you don't have the Darkrai built, then getting yourself at least one High Dragon would be pretty good for you. And this Pokemon is also going to have its shiny available, as well as all the Pokemon that I previously mentioned. They will also have their shiny available in the wild potentially. Now with that out of the way, let's go over the raid pool. So not much has changed in terms of the 5-star raids, but we do have some new 1-star and 3-star raids. So usually I don't recommend going for the 1-star raids as these are more common Pokemon in their base stage forms. But when it comes down to the 3-star raids, sometimes you do have some good picks. In this case, you're going to have Dragonite available, which is going to be an excellent time to use your Pineapple Berries to get double candy. So essentially 20 Dratini candy from catching one Dragonite with the Pineapple Berry. That's a pretty good deal. On top of that, you're also going to have Druddigon in the 3-star raid pool as well if you guys are going for that shiny. I don't really recommend raiding for shinies, but if that's your thing, then, by all means, you can definitely try and get one. When it comes down to IVs though, you probably won't get a good IV spread for the Ultra League. I mean, you might get like a workable IV spread, but this Pokemon does max out at around 2700 CP, so you would probably want something with a lower attack stat. And then we also talked about this in my December breakdown video, but Reshiram and Zekrom are going to be your MVPs when it comes down to 5-star raids. I would really just recommend focusing on these two out of everything. Like if you need Dragonite candy, then yeah, you can do that too. But really at the end of the day, Reshiram is one of the best fire type attackers in the game. Actually, the best fire type attacker if you exclude Mega Pokemon and Shadow Pokemon. And Zekrom is one of the top electric type attackers in the game. So yeah, you really can't go wrong with these two. And then finally we have the Pokemon from field research tasks, which really isn't that many. We only have 4 options here, but all 4 of those options are actually meta relevant, and you could get good IV spreads on these as well as their shiny forms. Then one more thing I forgot to go over earlier on in the video, there is going to be a special bundle in the shop that is only going to cost you 175 Pokecoins, and that is going to give you 3 remote raid passes. So normally the bundle for 3 remote raid passes would be about 250 coins, and then for the single remote raid pass that would be about 100 coins. So you're definitely going to save a decent amount of Pokecoins by getting this bundle, and then you can use those remote raid passes to raid Reshiram and Zekrom. So that's basically going to cover all the information for this event, but I do have some additional tips and tricks in case you guys want them. So let's go over those right now. Okay, so first of all, the Spotlight Hour on December 7th, which is going to be LuckyBunz, is going to have the featured bonus of double transfer candy. So whatever rares you get between now and the Spotlight Hour, make sure that you guys save them and you do not transfer them until that Spotlight Hour so you can get double candy. Now additionally, on top of that, we also have the Season of Heritage bonus for guaranteed extra large candy, as well as +1 candy for every trade that you do. So I would definitely recommend going through and trading these Pokemon if you have the ability to. I know most of you guys don't actually have trade partners, so I don't really recommend this as often, but if you guys do, then more power to you. The next tip that I have for you guys is that if you want additional candy in some of these rare Pokemon from the field research, is that you can hold onto them into your stack and wait until December 28th when we have the bonus for Spotlight Hour as double catch candy. This is definitely a great time to cash in on some of your Pokemon, especially Druddigon, since it actually is a new Pokemon and it's kind of rare. Getting the extra candy might be worth holding on to it until December 28th in your field research stack. And then I guess I should just double down on this while I just mentioned that. Druddigon is probably going to be a really good Pokemon for the Ultra League, so I really do recommend trying to take advantage of as much candy gains as possible on this Pokemon, because you're going to have to power it up to level 40, and it's most likely going to require 75 candy plus 75,000 Stardust for that secondary charge move. So yeah, a lot of candy, a lot of Stardust, definitely going to be a heavy investment, but most likely a good investment. And then outside of that, I don't really have too much else to go over. I feel like the last thing I could say is maybe just to continue focusing your free passes as well as your remote raid passes on Reshiram and Zekrom. Those two are so good and they have their shiny forms available currently. Definitely do recommend raiding them as much as you can. But with that being said, I think that's basically everything I got for you guys. If you want some more tips and tricks, check out these videos right here. But before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon in the next one.